The dawn of human ancestors. Introduction to the epoch. The Miocene epoch, spanning from approximately 23 to 5.3 million years ago, was a period of significant climatic, geological, and biological changes. Roughly 10 million years ago, during the Late Miocene, the world was undergoing a transition that profoundly impacted the evolutionary trajectory of many species, including our early hominid ancestors. The climate was generally warmer than today, with a trend toward cooling and drying as the epoch progressed. This period saw the expansion of grasslands and the retreat of dense tropical forests, creating a mosaic of habitats that demanded adaptability from its inhabitants. The tectonic activity during the Miocene contributed to the formation of mountain ranges and altered oceanic currents, further influencing climate patterns. These environmental shifts played a crucial role in shaping the evolutionary pressures faced by early hominids, driving the development of key survival traits. Early hominids and their habitats. During the late Miocene, the African continent was home to a diverse array of primate species. Among them were some of the earliest known ancestors of modern humans. Proconsul and Savannahs are two prominent genera that provide valuable insights into the early stages of hominid evolution. Proconsul, one of the earliest hominids, lived in what is now Kenya. It possessed a combination of ape-like and monkey-like features, indicative of a transitional form. This species was primarily arboreal, inhabiting dense forests and relying heavily on tree-based locomotion. The forested environment provided ample food sources, including fruits, leaves, and seeds, supporting the dietary needs of Proconsul. On the other hand, Savannahs inhabited regions of what is now South Asia. This genus displayed morphological similarities to modern orangutans, suggesting a possible evolutionary link. Savannahs adapted to a range of environments, from forests to more open woodland areas, reflecting the diverse habitats available during the Miocene. These early hominids faced varying ecological challenges, prompting the development of versatile survival strategies. Dietary adaptations. The dietary habits of early hominids were closely tied to their environments. As the Miocene progressed, the expansion of grasslands and reduction of forests necessitated dietary flexibility. Early hominids like Proconsul and Savannahs adapted their feeding strategies to exploit available resources effectively. Proconsul's diet was primarily frugivorous, relying on the abundance of fruits in forested areas. Its dental and jaw structures were adapted to process soft fruits and leaves efficiently. However, as environmental conditions changed, some populations of Proconsul began to incorporate more fibrous plant materials into their diets, reflecting an adaptive shift. Savannahs, with its more varied habitat, exhibited greater dietary versatility. Its dental morphology indicates a mixed diet that included fruits, seeds, and possibly small invertebrates. This adaptability in diet would have been crucial for survival in fluctuating environments, allowing Savannahs to exploit different food sources as availability changed. Social structures and behavior. Social structures and behaviors played a vital role in the survival of early hominids. Living in groups provided protection against predators, facilitated resource sharing, and enabled cooperative behaviors that enhanced survival prospects. Early hominids likely exhibited social hierarchies, similar to those observed in modern primate species. These hierarchies helped maintain order within groups and ensured efficient resource distribution. Cooperative behaviors, such as grooming and food sharing, strengthened social bonds and promoted group cohesion. Communication methods, although primitive compared to modern humans, were essential for coordinating group activities. Vocalizations, gestures, and facial expressions would have been used to convey information about food sources, potential dangers, and social interactions. These early forms of communication laid the foundation for more complex language development in later hominids. Tools and technology. The development of basic tools marked a significant milestone in early hominid evolution. While the earliest known tools date back to around 3.3 million years ago, evidence suggests that simple tool use may have existed even earlier. These early tools were likely made from readily available materials such as stones and sticks. The ability to use tools provided early hominids with a competitive edge in their environments. Simple tools could be used for various purposes, including food processing, defense, and foraging. For example, stones could be used to crack open nuts or bones, while sticks might be used to extract insects from crevices. The development of tool use also had cognitive implications. It required foresight, planning, and problem-solving skills, contributing to the cognitive evolution of early hominids. As tool use became more sophisticated, it likely facilitated the development of more complex social behaviors and cultural practices. Adapting to environmental changes. Climate shifts and their impact. The Miocene epoch, particularly around 10 million years ago, was a time of dynamic climate shifts. These changes profoundly influenced the evolution and adaptation strategies of early hominids. The general trend of cooling and drying led to the gradual retreat of dense tropical forests and the expansion of grasslands and savannas. This environmental transition created new challenges and opportunities for survival. Early hominids had to adapt to the reduced availability of forested areas and the increasing prominence of open habitats. The changing climate affected food availability, requiring hominids to diversify their diets and develop new foraging strategies. Water sources became more scattered, prompting adaptations in mobility and social organization to cope with the scarcity. Evolution of bipedalism. One of the most significant adaptations during this period was the evolution of bipedalism. Walking on two legs provided numerous advantages in the changing environments. Bipedalism allowed early hominids to cover greater distances more efficiently, which was crucial for finding food and water in the expanding savannas. The skeletal changes that supported upright walking included modifications to the pelvis, spine, and lower limbs. The pelvis became shorter and broader to support the organs while standing. The spine developed an S-shaped curve to maintain balance and absorb shock. The lower limbs lengthened, and the feet evolved to support weight during bipedal locomotion. Bipedalism also freed the hands for other tasks, such as carrying food and using tools. This adaptation was a pivotal step in human evolution, setting the stage for further developments in tool use and social behavior. Migration and range expansion. As climate and habitat changes continued, early hominids faced the need to migrate and expand their ranges. Migration allowed hominids to explore new territories, access diverse food sources, and avoid competition and predation pressures in their original habitats. Migration patterns were influenced by environmental cues, such as seasonal changes and the availability of resources. Early hominids likely followed water sources and animal migrations, adapting their movement strategies to the changing landscape. This range expansion facilitated genetic diversification, as isolated populations encountered different selective pressures and evolved distinct traits. The ability to adapt to new environments was crucial for survival. Hominids developed flexible behaviors and physiological adaptations to cope with varying climates, vegetation, and predators. Migration also encouraged the exchange of knowledge and cultural practices among different groups, enhancing overall resilience. Competition for resources. Competition for resources was a constant challenge for early hominids. As populations grew and habitats changed, securing food, water, and shelter became increasingly competitive. Early hominids had to develop strategies to outcompete other species and ensure their survival. Dietary flexibility was one key adaptation. Early hominids diversified their diets to include a wide range of plant and animal foods. This flexibility allowed them to exploit different food sources depending on availability. For example, during times of fruit scarcity, they might rely more on tubers, seeds, or small animals. Social cooperation also played a crucial role in resource competition. By living in groups, hominids could defend resources more effectively and share food among group members. This cooperation reduced individual risk and increased the chances of survival during periods of scarcity. Resilience through adaptation. The ability to adapt to environmental changes was a hallmark of early hominid resilience. Adaptations in diet, mobility, social behavior, and tool use enabled hominids to thrive in diverse and fluctuating environments. These adaptations were not static. They evolved continuously in response to new challenges and opportunities. One example of adaptive resilience is the development of more sophisticated tools. As early hominids encountered new environments, they refined their tool-making techniques to exploit local resources more effectively. Simple stone tools evolved into more complex implements, such as hand axes and scrapers, which could be used for a variety of tasks. Another example is the evolution of social structures. As hominids adapted to new environments, their social behaviors and group dynamics evolved to enhance cooperation and cohesion. Complex social networks allowed for better coordination in hunting, foraging, and defense, increasing overall survival rates. Social dynamics and survival strategies. Social hierarchies and cooperation. Early hominids lived in social groups that played a critical role in their survival. These groups were structured hierarchically, with dominant individuals at the top and subordinates below. Social hierarchies helped maintain order and reduce conflict within groups, which was essential for the stability and efficiency of group living. Dominant individuals often had priority access to resources such as food and mating opportunities, which ensured the passing of their genes to the next generation. In return, they provided protection and leadership, guiding the group in times of danger or resource scarcity. Subordinate individuals benefited from the protection and support of the group, which increased their chances of survival. Cooperation within these groups was vital. Sharing food, grooming each other, and assisting in the care of young were common cooperative behaviors that strengthened social bonds. These behaviors not only enhanced individual survival but also promoted group cohesion, making it easier to defend against predators and compete for resources. Conflict and aggression. While cooperation was crucial, conflict and aggression were also part of early hominid social dynamics. Competition for resources, mating rights, and social status often led to aggressive behaviors. Understanding these conflicts provides insight into the survival strategies of early hominids. Intra-group conflicts were typically resolved through displays of dominance and submission, which helped avoid serious injury. Aggressive displays, such as vocalizations, posturing, and physical confrontations, were used to establish and maintain social hierarchies. These conflicts, though potentially dangerous, played a role in social organization and stability. Intergroup conflicts were more severe, often involving violent encounters over territory and resources. Such conflicts could result in the displacement or even extinction of weaker groups. Successful groups were those that could effectively defend their territory and resources, often through coordinated group actions and strategic use of the environment. Family structures and child rearing. Family structures were integral to early hominid societies. The extended period of juvenile dependency required for the development of complex skills and knowledge necessitated strong parental and alloparental care. Early hominid offspring were dependent on adults for an extended period, during which they learned essential survival skills through observation and imitation. The role of mothers was central in early child rearing, but fathers and other group members also contributed. This alloparental care system, where individuals other than the parents helped raise the young, was beneficial for the survival of offspring. It allowed mothers to have more frequent reproductive cycles, increasing the population's growth rate. Family bonds provided emotional support and stability, which were crucial for the development of social skills and cooperation. These bonds also facilitated the transmission of cultural knowledge, including tool use, foraging techniques, and social behaviors, from one generation to the next. Communication and social learning. Effective communication was essential for the social cohesion and survival of early hominid groups. While not as advanced as modern human language, early hominid communication likely included a variety of vocalizations, gestures, and facial expressions. These communication methods allowed hominids to coordinate group activities, share information about resources and dangers, and strengthen social bonds. Vocalizations could convey a range of messages, from alerts about predators to calls for social interaction. Gestures and facial expressions provided additional means of non-verbal communication, crucial for expressing emotions and intentions within the group. Social learning, the process by which individuals learn from observing and imitating others, was a fundamental aspect of early hominid life. Young hominids learned essential survival skills by watching adults and participating in group activities. This learning process ensured the transmission of knowledge and cultural practices, such as tool use and foraging strategies, across generations. Cultural evolution and tool use. The development and transmission of cultural practices related to tool use were pivotal in early hominid survival. Early hominids used simple tools to aid in various tasks, including food acquisition, processing, and defense. These tools ranged from unmodified stones and sticks to more sophisticated implements like flaked stone tools. Tool use required cognitive skills such as problem-solving, planning, and foresight. The ability to create and use tools provided early hominids with a significant competitive advantage, allowing them to exploit a wider range of resources and adapt to diverse environments. Cultural evolution, the process by which cultural practices and knowledge are passed down and refined over generations, played a crucial role in the development of early hominid societies. The transmission of tool-making techniques and other cultural practices through social learning ensured that beneficial innovations were preserved and built upon. The evolution of tool use also facilitated the development of more complex social behaviors. As tools became more integral to daily life, cooperative behaviors such as sharing and collaborative hunting became more pronounced. These behaviors strengthened social bonds and promoted group cohesion, enhancing overall survival. Survival against predators and competitors. Predator-prey dynamics. During the late Miocene, early hominids faced a multitude of predators, from large carnivores like saber-toothed cats and hyenas to various raptors and snakes. The predator-prey dynamics of this period were complex and necessitated a range of survival strategies. Early hominids had to be constantly vigilant to avoid becoming prey. Their smaller size and lack of natural weapons made them vulnerable, especially in open habitats where cover was limited. This constant threat shaped their behavior, driving the evolution of both physical and behavioral adaptations to enhance their chances of survival. Key to avoiding predation was the development of heightened senses. Improved vision, particularly in detecting movement and spotting predators from a distance, was crucial. Enhanced hearing and smell also played roles in early warning systems, allowing hominids to detect predators before they got too close. Adaptations for escape and evasion. The evolution of bipedalism not only allowed early hominids to travel efficiently across open landscapes but also provided advantages in escape and evasion from predators. Upright posture offered a higher vantage point for spotting threats and freed the upper limbs for defensive actions or carrying young and tools. Speed and agility became critical survival traits. Early hominids developed longer legs relative to their body size, which improved their ability to run swiftly and maneuver through varied terrain. The ability to climb trees remained an important escape strategy, especially for those still living in forested or woodland environments. Camouflage and stealth also played roles in avoiding predators. Blending into the environment through coloration or staying motionless when a threat was near could reduce the likelihood of detection. Social behaviors, such as moving in groups, offered safety in numbers and reduced individual risk. Competition with other species. In addition to avoiding predators, early hominids had to compete with other species for resources. This competition extended to both flora and fauna, as hominids and other animals often targeted the same food sources, water, and shelter. Hominids faced competition from other primates, such as monkeys and apes, as well as from various herbivores and omnivores. Dietary flexibility became a key adaptation, allowing hominids to exploit a wide range of food sources, including fruits, leaves, seeds, roots, and small animals. This omnivorous diet reduced direct competition for any single type of food. Social cooperation also provided a competitive edge. Group living allowed for coordinated foraging and defense of resources. By working together, early hominids could outcompete solitary animals or smaller groups for access to valuable resources. Cooperative hunting and food sharing further enhanced their ability to secure sufficient nutrition. Evolutionary arms race. The concept of the evolutionary arms race describes the continuous cycle of adaptations and counter-adaptations between predators and prey or between competing species. For early hominids, this arms race drove significant evolutionary changes. Predators developed more effective hunting strategies and physical adaptations, such as sharper claws and teeth or greater speed and stealth. In response, early hominids evolved behavioral strategies and physical traits to counter these threats. This included the development of alarm calls, group defense mechanisms, and the strategic use of the environment for shelter and escape routes. In terms of competition with other species, hominids developed more sophisticated tools and foraging techniques. The ability to modify and use tools provided a significant advantage in accessing food sources that were otherwise difficult to obtain, such as digging for tubers or cracking nuts. These innovations reduced direct competition and opened up new ecological niches. The role of social groups in survival. Living in social groups provided early hominids with numerous survival advantages. Group cohesion and cooperation enhanced the ability to detect and respond to threats, whether from predators or competing species. Social bonds facilitated the sharing of resources, knowledge, and protection, increasing the overall resilience of the group. Defensive strategies within groups included coordinated vigilance and alarm systems. Individuals took turns keeping watch, using vocalizations or gestures to alert the group to approaching danger. This collective vigilance allowed for quicker and more effective responses to threats, reducing the risk of predation. Group living also facilitated the development and transmission of survival skills. Younger individuals learned from older, more experienced members, ensuring the continuity of effective strategies and innovations. This social learning was crucial for maintaining and enhancing group survival capabilities over generations. Cognitive and technological advances. The evolution of intelligence. The evolution of intelligence in early hominids was a pivotal factor in their ability to adapt and survive in changing environments. As they faced complex challenges, such as finding food, avoiding predators, and navigating social dynamics, higher cognitive abilities became increasingly advantageous. Enhanced problem-solving skills, memory, and learning capacity allowed early hominids to develop innovative survival strategies. Key to this cognitive evolution was the enlargement of the brain, particularly the neocortex, which is associated with higher-order brain functions such as sensory perception, cognition, and motor commands. The development of a more complex brain structure enabled early hominids to process information more effectively, adapt to new situations, and learn from their experiences. Tool use and technological innovation. Tool use is one of the most significant markers of cognitive advancement in early hominids. The ability to create and utilize tools provided numerous survival advantages, from securing food to building shelters. The earliest known tools, dated to around 3.3 million years ago, include simple stone flakes and cores used for cutting and scraping. Over time, tool-making techniques became more sophisticated. The development of the Acheulean tool industry, characterized by hand axes and bifacial tools, marked a significant technological leap. These tools were more versatile and effective, allowing early hominids to process a wider variety of materials and perform more complex tasks. Technological innovation was driven by both necessity and opportunity. As hominids encountered new environments and challenges, they adapted their tool-making techniques to exploit local resources effectively. The continuous refinement of tools also facilitated more efficient food acquisition and processing, contributing to improved nutrition and overall fitness. Fire and its implications. The controlled use of fire was another monumental technological and cognitive milestone for early hominids. Evidence suggests that early hominids began using fire as early as 1.5 million years ago, though regular and controlled use may have developed later. Fire provided numerous benefits that significantly impacted hominid evolution and survival. Cooking food with fire made it easier to digest and extract nutrients, leading to better nutrition and health. Cooked food also reduced the risk of disease by killing harmful pathogens. The ability to cook allowed early hominids to exploit a broader range of food resources, including tough plant materials and meat. Fire also provided warmth and protection. In colder climates, fire enabled hominids to survive and thrive, extending their range into new territories. The light from fire extended the day, allowing for social interactions and activities after dark. It also served as a deterrent against predators, providing a sense of safety and security. Development of language and communication. The evolution of language and communication was crucial for the social cohesion and survival of early hominids. While the precise origins of language are difficult to pinpoint, it is believed that early forms of communication included a combination of vocalizations, gestures, and facial expressions. These methods allowed hominids to convey important information about food sources, dangers, and social relationships. As cognitive abilities and social structures became more complex, so did the need for more sophisticated communication. The development of language likely involved the gradual refinement of vocal apparatus and neural structures associated with speech production and comprehension. This enhanced communication facilitated cooperation, planning, and the sharing of knowledge. Language allowed for the transmission of cultural practices and innovations across generations. It enabled early hominids to teach and learn complex skills, such as tool-making and hunting techniques, more effectively. The ability to communicate abstract concepts and future plans also strengthened social bonds and group coordination. Cultural practices and social learning. Cultural practices and social learning were integral to the survival and success of early hominid societies. Cultural evolution, the process by which knowledge, beliefs, and behaviors are transmitted and modified over generations, played a key role in shaping early hominid life. Social learning, where individuals learn from observing and imitating others, was a primary mechanism for the transmission of cultural practices. Young hominids learned essential survival skills by watching and interacting with older, more experienced members of the group. This learning process ensured the continuity and refinement of effective strategies and innovations. Cultural practices included tool-making techniques, foraging and hunting strategies, social behaviors, and rituals. These practices were not static. They evolved in response to changing environments and challenges. The ability to adapt and innovate culturally was a significant factor in the resilience and success of early hominid groups.